Sohail, we are touchy about showing poverty. I mean, we're a little touchy about, especially post-reforms. India does not want its dark underbelly to be shown.
I can't hear.
Of course we're touchy. We're touchy even about, we're in denial about Raju. We're in denial about the corruption in Indian politics. We're in denial about the fact that this is perhaps the most corrupt union cabinet we've ever had under the most honorable prime minister. We're in denial about a lot of things. We are equally in denial about the realities that exist. I think, and you've raised a very a critical point on your program, are Indians touchy about poverty? Of course they are. Because the rich do precious little in terms of philanthropy. The rich do precious little in terms of giving back. You've had 100 rich lists published in the last 3 years. When did you ever see a give list published?
Yeah, sure.
So these are the realities.
No,
Having said that, is creative license something that we should accept? Of course we should. Mayank Shekhar very rightly analyzes the slumdog and millionaire. But that's what leads to paralysis. Analysis, paralysis. The bottom line is the film watchable? The answer is yes.
Yeah, but
is the film successful? The answer is yes. Has it won a Golden Globe for one of the most gifted composers that this country has ever seen in the form of Rahman? Yes.
Well, we have to look at this in a larger context. And I'm placing this in a larger... It's not about Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire is obviously a brilliant movie, and let's admit it, none of us here in India have seen it, so we can't pass judgments about it. I'm surprised Loveleen hasn't raised that point so far. She could have. That's not the point. You look at Slumdog Millionaire on the one side, and you look at Arvind Adiga's The White Tiger, it almost looks as if you've got all the ingredients.
Since we're talking about Amitabh Bachchan's blog and a couple of points that he mentioned, one of them that he did was about were this an Indian director having made this film, he wouldn't have got the kind of recognition that, say, Danny Boyle did. Firstly,
but is he right there? Is he right there?
Well, firstly, we don't have a talent like Danny Boyle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
that visual understanding that he has. But having said that, the kind of stuff that Indian filmmakers have made to appease to the West, and Satyajit Ray is not an example. Satyajit Ray was not exporting poverty. As somebody who hasn't seen Ray's movies, most of them were urban films about Calcutta life, and we had a whole Calcutta trilogy and stuff. So let's keep him aside altogether. But so far as Indian films are concerned, when say a Deepa Mehta makes a water, or when say someone Deepa Mehta, well, she also made Hollywood Bollywood. She's apparently making a Bollywood movie. Or when we make a Chandni Chowk to China, trying to a Warner Brothers film, or even if so many other examples exist. I think when we try to palliate things to the West, we do a far worse job of it.
No, but I want to ask you there, Loveleen, you made, you were part of the making of Monsoon Wedding, and that didn't portray any poverty at all. In fact, right, the opposite.
Reality, right?
That was the reality which was portrayed at that point of time. That was also lapped up, as it were, globally. Loveleen?
Yes, absolutely, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's really it's how well a film is made. It could, and we, thankfully, in India, we're able to do this. We're able to live in this kind of multi-layered society and look at it. And for some reason, we're still, like we were just discussing, touchy about poverty. When we actually enjoy films that are of similar nature, say made in South America, made anywhere else in the world, any other country, Sri Lanka. I mean, we enjoy it. We think it's a great film because it's a great film. It's shot beautifully. It portrays reality. We get to see a part of, another culture. So that's the idea. Whether it's Monsoon Wedding, which is upper class India, talks about a wedding with, trying to look at the dark sides of even an upper class society, or whether it's or a Slumdog Millionaire, which is a story about changing India in my eyes. It's not really, the film is not about poverty. The film is about it's a rags to riches story. It's a story of a boy who sort of believes in the beauty of life, wants to move on. It's the story of human spirit. That's the kind of stories we love across the board, across the globe. People like that kind of story.
Joining us on the show, Shyam Benegal, filmmaker who knows and has portrayed poverty in many of his movies. Mr. Benegal, do you really agree with the views of Amitabh Bachchan that poverty sells more at Cannes, at Venice than the big blockbusters that are churned in Bollywood?
Well, I mean, this is an old debate. It's been going on for a very long time. And the fact that poverty sells is a concept that is very, very old. And I think we've had arguments about it in our country, and it's been debated for so long. I mean, it goes back to the time of when we were colonial subjects, when Catherine Mayo wrote a big book, I think in 1920s, called Mother India, and Gandhiji, called it a drainage inspector's report. I think it goes back that far. But I think, when Ray made his film Povertyget in 1955, and when it won the Cannes Film Festival award, the film industry, even at that time, had said the same thing. It had said that, obviously, foreigners seem to respond more to the poverty in India than to anything else, and all these kind of things. But you see, one of the problems that we have is that it's inescapable, whether you like it or not. I mean, if you look at the city of Mumbai, if 60% or more people of this city live in slums, and somebody wishes to show it, what can you do about it? You can't help it. It's simply that a lot of us would probably not like to acknowledge it. That's the only difference. But the fact is that it exists, and if you're going to deal with it, it depends on how you're dealing with it. Because I don't know, I haven't seen this film, I would like to see it, and I expect I will see it when it is released on the 23rd. But until such time, of course, I cannot comment on the film. But the idea that you...
Right. No, I get your point. I'm running so short of time, I have to wrap this up. But I'm only going to wrap it up by saying one thing. That to imagine that there aren't small starving children on the streets of Mumbai, or that they're being treated to almost perverted situations, will also be wrong. And at the end of the day, let's wait for the movie to release. Lovely Tandon, Sohail Seth, Mayank and Shyam Benegal. Thank you very much.